Modern Warfare. I'll be your host. Today we're talking about the MP7. We got a gun guide thingy we're gonna do here, and let's get right into it. MP7 is a very, very good weapon, and is a very well modeled, very sexy gun. Look at that thing. Look at how nice it looks. Look at those parts, and it's just well animated. I'm being eccentric, but it's just very well animated. It's a beautiful looking weapon. Another one of the best guns I've ever seen in any game, and whew, whew, very nice. Now, I got 5 classes here I'm going to go over with you, but real quick, let's talk about the basics for this gun. This is not like a base one, I'm just going to talk about it. It's got very good damage, relatively decent range, although it's not great, but it's complemented by good accuracy and a very high fire rate. That fire rate is the saving grace of this weapon because it allows people to get nuked by it. High mobility and control means overall, you're going to be destroying people at close to medium range with this thing. Damage-wise, you're looking at 4 to 5 shots to kill, up to, it's like 4 at point blank, and you can get 3 if you throw in some headshots. You will be melting people if you get close range headshots. I'd be dropping down to like 7 or 8 longer ranges, but at that point it doesn't really matter. You're just throwing bullets at them, and it works. It kills people. Hipfire is good. Base mag capacity is 40. Mobility is high. So I got 5 classes here to show you, and I don't know. Let's just get right into it. First one is a hybrid class. It's got really good hipfire with the Merc foregrip, which is recoil control hipfire, and this, which is going to be hipfire and sprint to fire speed. So it's going to be good up close due to that. It's going to have good recoil range and bullet velocity, pardon, no recoil reduction, due to the strike. A decent sight. You pick whichever one you want. Hollow is not bad. Aim point reflex is good. Not a fan of this reflex sight, or the VLK, or the APX5, or the Scout Combat, or the monocle reflex, or this one, or this one. I do like this one, and this one, and I really, really like the GI Mini reflex. We'll be using a Cronin for this particular class. I don't know. It's nice. 60 rounders allow you to spray and pray to your heart's content, and with that good hipfire, you'll be able to reach pretty far with just your hipfire, which is a saving grace of this class. Second one is going to be a mobility suppressed class, decent recoil reduction and hipfire. Swap barrel will give us some mobility, no stock for mobility, and then a suppressor that just hurts my damage range. Next one's going to be a kind of a marksman's version. We got a compensator, the heaviest barrel, Merc foregrip for hipfire and recoil reduction. Although if you're not planning on hipfiring very much, you could throw on the Ranger foregrip or the Operator foregrip. Both those are good. I prefer Merc because this weapon wants to be hipfired, and with this relatively slow handling you'll get from these 3, you're going to want the hipfire accuracy. And then this gives us a little extra aim down sight speed, always helpful for SMGs. Because it's more of a range class, we're not going to be throwing on the ammunition or any perks to increase reload speed, because we'll be staying a little farther away. For the third one, we got a, how do I describe this? It's just kind of a different take on that first one. Instead of being more hipfire based, it's more general mobility based. Some recoil reduction, laser to increase handling, this to increase aim walking speed, recoil control on the sight. No, it's a different all-around MP5 build. MP7, pardon. And then this one's the ultimate mobility build. You just got all the mobility stuffs and sleight of hand. On this one, I have sleight of hand over the magazine size because the magazine size, I believe, hurt handling, and I want to max out the handling on this as much as possible. If you're using a knife in your secondary hand, throwing on breacher device in this would not be a bad idea. Pardon, if you're not using a knife as your second one, breacher device. If you are, then that is totally pointless. I'm just all over the place right now. Let's get right into this. We're going to do some recoil testing. I'm going to real quick make sure I got C4 on all these so I can suicide myself, so I can test them all out individually, because there's no way to redeploy in this game, which is just freaking fantastic. So let's get right into it. I got no bots, and I'm going to jump right into this next segment. Alright, we're going to do some recoil tests. And we're going to find a wall to test them on. And we're going to use that wall right there. We're going to back all the way up. Right here. We're going to aim roughly there. We're going to fire for a bit. And we're going to use that as our first test. It's about 40 bullets. And for this first build, you can see the recoil pulls relatively strongly up and to the right. And you can very clearly tell the difference between the bullet holes. These ones are black, these ones are white. That's not a racial joke, it's just the way it is. So yeah, first few bullets have extreme recoil, and then it averages out quite a bit. So let's grab a different gun. Alright, we got the second one going on. And we're going to do the same recoil tests over here. Line up next to the first one. Noticeably, I don't know. It felt lower, but it's more condensed, it looked like. So you got a much bigger jump from the first 3 to 4. Does this not show bullet? This doesn't show bullet holes. Alright. Well, you can generally plot the course, though. It seems like they're clumped a fair bit. So it looks like 4 right there, 4 there, 4 there, 4 there. So you can account there's probably 2 more groupings of 4 in there in the middle. So seems like it climbs a little more aggressive vertically and a little less aggressive horizontally. And it kind of clusters them. Just see if that's a freak thing. Just test this out. Still kind of doing it. You can see cluster there, cluster there, cluster there, cluster there. Still kind of does it. So let's grab that next class. Try this out. Swoop-de-boop. I'm right there. This is clearly the accurate one. Incredibly tight grouping right there after a bit of a rough start. Starts out pretty comparably for the first couple shots as the other 2. This one clearly being the most severe. But then it stabilized out almost completely. Very little wobble. With very little recoil flow, you can get an almost perfect grouping. So yeah, that's that one. Let's grab the second to last one and see how this thing does. Whoop. Yeah, so that one seems to have pretty comparable recoil to the first one, but a little more spaced out. Pretty comparable vertically, but yeah, it's definitely a little more horizontal sway. And it definitely jumps less vertically to start out, because it started a little higher up here. But it's got more of a jump to the horizontal side. So it seems like this is a little lower recoil than the other 3. But more vertical control than the second one. So let's grab that last one, see how this thing goes before we do some mods testing and some bots. Alright, let's try this last one out. The ability build. Yeah, clearly this one takes the cake. First 2 shots are pure vertical, and then it just goes all over the place, and we lose sight of what happens to the recoil. When we shoot this wall. Oh. I mean, kinda. Can't really see anything. Let's use this wall here. A little closer to get a better understanding how this thing goes. So yeah, it is very, very strong vertical recoil. And it shakes a little left to right. It shakes more left and right than the other ones do. Most of them just kind of hug one direction. This one swerves back and forth. So, now that we have that done, let's go deal with some bots and manhandle them for a little bit, because that's going to be fun. Alright, let's get it. A little different this time. I added 5 bots instead of 3 because we're testing a CQB weapon. Only made sense. And it's a little overwhelming, but this is the first one. This is the second one, pardon, and it's a high mobility build. I don't know. Recoil's a little more harsh than I'd like. Especially considering not great, well, many other stats. We'll try this higher mobility one with the sleight of hand. See, this weapon, even with a mobility build, can still stretch its range better than several other SMGs. And it can definitely dish out plenty of damage up close. Where'd you go? See that little new potential of it right there? Oh, goodness. My ammo was gone. That is just very unfortunate. Let's bring out this hipfire machine. Yeah, this things. This thing really likes hit fire. Come on, reload. This is definitely my favorite version of this weapon. Who needs to aim down sights if you can just... Goodness. So that's about the effective range right there. See, mixing a few headshots, even at medium range, the range is a fair bit. It's hard to talk and play with this mini boss, to be honest. Probably the last time I tested it like this, even against faster weight weapons. And with enough bullets, there's no such thing as too long range. Let's get this this one right here. Break this one back out. You can definitely tell this one's got thighs. I got in a bit of a groove. Sleight of hand's really doesn't have the effects I'd like though. It's definitely been nerfed. I'd say for this type of weapon, it's still better than the mags in some instances, which I'm trying to show right now, but the fact of the matter is, high mobility builds are generally better suited for winning lots of 1v1s, not chaining, like, group fights where you're the favorite to win. So, a class like this would be better for multiplayer, but less good versus bots. Whereas something like this, which sprays bullets accurately, but at a higher volume, is better versus bots, but less good for multiplayer. Let's try this Marksman's one. Ooh, that's an unfortunate spawn. See, definitely handles business. Headshots clearly melt things. I can stretch its range out to that range pretty well. Whoop, where are you at? And they could pop out a standard hollow sight if needed. So yeah, this one's my second favorite, I think, behind the Hipfire one, purely because of its just ease of use, and that recoil control is incredibly comfortable. It's so comfortable. Yeah, it can just, no matter what range you're at, this thing can kill people. So yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to waste too much more of your time testing an MP5 against bots, because you probably know what this thing does anyway. It's not like a newsflash to you. I think this format's going to be a little better than the previous ones have been. I still got to work on it, but going to be improving as time goes on. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shizzle if you want to see more. And tell me in the comments, what are you thinking about the MP7 so far? I'm really enjoying this thing. Probably my favorite SMG, although the MP5 with 10mm ammo is pretty nice as well. And don't count out the P90, because that's also a fantastic weapon. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Deuces.